Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of What's Brewing with Mobile Cup of Joe. Hey, I am your bearded barista, Alvie. I'm so glad to see you. It's good to have you back here on the show. Hopefully, you guys are watching and listening live and all that stuff. It's just fantastic. We've got the whole brew crew here. So if you watched or caught the show, listened to it or anything last week, you know we had kind of a special 3,000 subscriber kind of special show. This will be a little bit more what you're used to with What's Brewing and all, with our freshly brewed news and a little espresso shot and all those kind of things. But let's just go ahead and introduce you guys to the brew crew while we're here, and I'll get to topics here in a minute. Starting left to right, as usual for me, will be Mr. Chuck Haines bringing the ones and zeros. How are you, Chuck?
Pretty good. About yourself? Good to be back.
Good to be back. I missed you last week. Hope everything is all okay with you and all that kind of stuff. Catch us up a little bit past 2 weeks for you. What's going on? What's brewing with Chuck Haines and ones and zeros for the past few weeks?
Oh, not too much. Just a lot of work and a whole lot of not much else. So I did actually get a new toy this week. I bought the Roku TV. So I know we'll get into that a little bit later here. I'm kind of excited about it. I haven't actually set it up in my living room yet because we got to get a little shelf to put it on so it goes in the cabinet. But it's been sitting on the floor in my bedroom, and I've been playing with it. So.
Nice. And now, you're talking about work. I did see a tweet from you that everything fell apart on you. What's going on with that? Did you get it all fixed?
Yeah. So today, basically the CEO kind of put a deadline that he said, I want today everything done. So in the frantic rush of everyone trying to fix things, a lot of things got broken. So
that's about the way that usually goes, right?
Yeah. So I had to spend a lot of time today putting out fires and fixing things that they didn't mean to break it, but when you got certain parts of the site that people are focusing on, they forget about the big picture. So.
And that's where you come in. Excellent. Well, it's good to have you back. We missed you last week, and we also missed back from the dead, Fred. Fred, how are you, sir? What's going on? What's brewing for you?
Doing well. Well, a lot of work, a lot of life as well. I spent some time out of town last weekend with my wife at the Northeast Organic Farming Association Winter Conference up in Saratoga, which was a groovy place with a lot of interesting stuff going on there, but good to be back here. And I do have, in fact, a new toy here, as Alvie does, and I don't know if we want to talk about that yet and get riled up, or we'll hold off. We'll hold off on that.
I'm gonna start hitting I have admin control to mute everyone here, don't I? So I have to listen.
But no, Fred, it is good to see you. We did miss you last week, and I hope everything went well there out at the show. I'm looking forward to some of your wife's products too. I know she makes some.
I've got something. I've got some care packages coming for all you guys, including the famous beard serum.
That's right. I'm excited about that.
Looking forward to some of that.
Yes,
absolutely. You guys are gonna love it.
Oh, Chuck, before I move on, tell me about your new barber, bud.
Oh man, so not new barber, but
right.
everyone's laughing here. So most of you guys know I live in small town USA. Joe actually beats me. His town's a little bit smaller than mine. So, so I guess it was I don't know. The barber I currently use opened up maybe 6 months ago or so, and. His entire vision is to bring back old school barber, and what I mean by that is not a hairstylist or a barber you go into today where he's just a basically glorified hairstylist, but a true old school barber, where you walk into the shop. He does straight razor shaves, which I get every Friday. It's awesome. He does the whole barbershop facial. You go in, and his vision is kind of the barbershop as it used to be, where men used to go and shoot the bull. So he started out, obviously, as most small businesses do, in a really small, tiny box. But within 2 months, he was in such demand that he hired a second barber, one of his good friends from the barber school that he graduated from. And 6 months later, he's now in a shop about 3 times the size of his old shop. But he's got all kinds of cool stuff in there. It's an amazing setup. He built most of the stuff in there from reclaimed wood and just a kind of real old school look to the barbershop. For those of you guys who follow me on Google+, take a look. I posted some pictures. It's just awesome. It's kind of a place that I just go to, shoot the bull now, which is exactly what he wants. So it's awesome.
No, I saw the pictures and it looks pretty cool. Yeah, if you guys are listening on the podcast or watching, check it out later once you guys are doing that. Check out the pictures, and if you're in the area, I'd love something like that. I go to a place. I go to a chain place, and it's nothing like what you're describing. So I would love something like that. Of course, I wouldn't want the straight razor shave, but I'll take the rest of it. Yeah.
Well, he does. When he cuts your hair, he does the back of your neck and around the sides with a straight razor. So he cleans it up, at least cleans it up that way with a straight razor.
Nice. Yeah. Excellent. All right, Mobile Cup of Joe.
Just one question: does he sharpen it on the leather strap?
Oh yeah.
Actually, yes, he has the leather straps in there, and he has a hot lather machine, so the lather on your face is actually hot lather and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's obviously I'm a young guy, so I don't know what like old school Fred, you could tell us probably, you might remember. No, I didn't mean it that way. What I meant was like, Fred would know what a more traditional old school barber was. Most of us wouldn't because we didn't have anything to shave back then. So, but if I had, from what I've read about, kind of old school barbers, he's kind of exactly in line with what they used to do.
Awesome.
Sounds
Yeah,
cool.
I need to check that out and come visit you maybe sometime just to get my old school experience. All right, Mobile Cup of Joe, what's brewing for you? Catch us up on the last week of the channel and your personal life and a little of your Snapchat history, whatever it may be.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, add me on Snapchat. My name's I think it's just Joe Maureen. It's something really creative like that. But just go ahead and add me for the next 24 hours on my story. There's something pretty special right there that I know Alvie got a good kick out of earlier today.
It's beautiful.
It's very beautiful. If you're a fan of Marvin Gaye, then you'll really enjoy it. But I don't know. For me, really, the past week has just been exams at school. I got all those done, and I got another snow day, so I'll probably get made fun of that by Chuck later on in the show, because apparently us Michigan people are wimps with our weather. But yeah, nothing really too exciting. Just getting through exams. I've got like 2 college exams next week for my web design class, so that'll be a joy. Starting to learn C++ at my kind of technology center, so that's been going pretty good. And I got a new toy in this week, the Lenovo, what is it, Yoga Tablet 2 with Windows. There's like 8 different versions of this thing or something. I don't even know, but it's actually really sweet. It's going for like $370 right now on Lenovo's site, and it's like Windows 8.1, and it's got like an included Bluetooth keyboard, and it's actually like pretty sweet too. And there's a hole in the hinge, so there's like a nail on my wall over here. So I put the Office on, just kind of threw that up there, and it's just kind of a freaking awesome experience. Like look up on the wall and have like Netflix playing right there, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, nothing really too exciting. Just been busy with school because junior year is a blast this time of year with exams, and I've got ACTs coming up in March. So pretty much just filling my brain with as much as I can about wonderful Algebra 2 and economics and government and HTML and CSS and JavaScript. So if you guys want me to talk about HTML for an hour, I can be more than happy to do that right now.
No, I prefer to stay awake during these shows, so let's skip that. But no, I tell you, I don't miss that time of life at all. So I don't envy you in your life right now, but God bless you and all that and your endeavors. But no, that the Lenovo that you're talking about, I actually debated between that and my 8-inch Sony that I went with, and ended up going with the Sony. But I mean, it was really back and forth for a long time, and so I'm interested to see what your thoughts are on it. Obviously, I was looking at the Android version, not the Windows version, but
yeah,
it's a pretty cool device.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do an espresso shot tonight since I just had this thing for a couple of days, but maybe in a next show or something. But it comes in, I don't know, there's an 8-inch model, a 10-inch model, and a 13-inch model, but you can get each version with either Android or Windows, which is actually really sweet. But, I mean, the coolest part is that you've got, like, a kickstand built into the thing, so you can, like, hang it like this with the little hole there or prop it up, like, as a stand or kind of tilt it like that. But the thing is made really well. I mean, it's pretty thin, too. It's got a, like, insane battery in there. And it's got like front-facing Dolby speakers, so I mean, and you get, I mean, like a free included Bluetooth keyboard, which is actually a really sweet deal, especially if you're talking like $370 for essentially like a full-fledged like Windows machine. So, and free upgrade to Windows 10 when it comes out. So far I've been like absolutely thrilled with it, and I showed this to my mom last night because she does yoga, and she like watched it on here. And like she came back upstairs and she's like, "Well, you're gonna have to tell Lenovo that they're gonna have to let you keep this because I want this thing."
How much is that, Joe? Now?
This one is the 10-inch model is going for $369 right now on the notebook site.
Wow, that's it.
So yeah, you're getting it's an Intel Atom processor. I can't remember like exactly what type it is. 2 gigs of RAM, like 32 gigs of internal storage, I think. I don't know like the actual size of the battery, but they say up to like 15 hours of use. So then you get a free keyboard, and you also get a free subscription to Microsoft Office 365. So there's a few nice included goodies in it. It's a 10-inch display, like high quality, and it feels like it's really well built. And like so far, I've been really impressed with it, especially for the price.
Yeah, and the 13-inch one even has a little projector. I don't know if
that's the Android version. The Windows version doesn't. The Android one does have a projector on that, which I really am trying to get that because I just want to have a projector on my tablet. Like I don't care who you are, that's just cool.
I'm like, because I'm thinking like, man, you got to really set that up just perfect for it to look right. But man, once you do, that would be pretty cool.
That'd be awesome. That'd be so cool.
Reminds me of the old LG. You remember that LG? What was it? I guess a smartphone.
I don't know if LG did, but I know Samsung came out with a projector type of, I don't know.
Yeah.
HTC had one that attached, I think, to the HD2, didn't it? There was one that attached to one of the early HTC and Android or Windows devices, and it was just like nobody ever had one because it cost so much money, and you had to actually buy it separate and attach it.
Oh yeah. Well, while you're talking spec sheet, Tony, go ahead and catch us up on your past week or so. How's it going, bud? What's brewing over there with you?
Oh well, not a whole lot actually. I mean, I've been pretty laid back lately. You know, just sitting at home, staying at home a lot. We bought a new car, which I think I mentioned the last show. A new used car from a friend of mine, 07 Saturn Ion, which is in like perfect condition, and it's exciting to me because if we can manage to keep it in perfect condition, which having a new baby doesn't really bode well for that, but this is the last year of the Ion that was made, so it'd be pretty neat to have something like that if we can keep it in good condition. Either way, I got a great deal on it, under 100,000 miles, like 72,000 miles, so pretty excited about that. And just to make it totally techie, I think the thing I'm most excited about this car is the remote, the clicker, because I haven't had a car with power anything ever. So it's just really nice to know that I can, I don't have to question whether or not I locked the doors. I can just go to my window and don't have to worry about that anymore because we've had a lot of people get into our cars here.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Tony, my current vehicle doesn't have automatic anything, but it's a Jeep. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to be all rugged.
Yeah.
And I take the doors off, so I can't lock a naked Jeep anyway. So, don't feel bad. Not everybody gets the clicky stuff. Chuck is one of the kind that gets the fancy smancy stuff.
Hey,
barbershops
actually, I'll have you know my wife makes fun of me because my truck, when I bought it, it has automatic nothing. The windows are roll-down windows. The lock is an automatic lock. And the only outside lock is on the driver's side. There's not even an outside lock on the passenger side to unlock it. So, yeah, my wife makes fun of me because I literally got, like, the most baseline truck you could get because I was like, it's a truck. I'm going to beat it up. So,
Truck is a truck.
Awesome. Well, that catches everybody up. Let me catch everybody up on me. I have been terribly sick this week. I don't go to the doctor, so I have no idea what it actually was, but I just felt really bad all week and don't feel terribly great tonight. So I'm trying to pump up my energy and hopefully not be too much of a downer tonight. But I've just been sick all week, so I ain't done nothing. I didn't get much of any new toys. Like Tony got a quadcopter, which hopefully he'll share a little bit on. But yeah, so me all week I've been pretty much just kind of like flatlined in the bed because I've been like zoned out as a zombie. But that's everybody. That's the Brew Crew. Let's go ahead and get started on this show because Chuck has a bone to pick with me and Fred. We are not his best friends this week, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. Let's just suffice to say that we've got Sling TV, and he doesn't, and he's jealous. And whatever it takes to make Chuck jealous is what we're all about. Fred and I have a lot to share about it. We've been into it on the app. We've been into it on the television and all that. So we're excited to share Sling with you and our initial impressions and all that. But let me catch you guys up. And, Joe, I'm going to defer to you so you can catch everybody up on the extended dates and everything for the Grande giveaway, if you'll take care of that for me, sir.
Yeah, so we talked about this quite a bit on the show last week about our Grande giveaway that's going on for 3,000 subscribers. There'll be a link in the description below this video if you guys did not see the announcement video for the Grande giveaway. But essentially the giveaway was supposed to end on February 2nd, which I believe is this coming Monday. But we have made the decision to go ahead and extend the Grande giveaway date for you guys to February 12th, which is a Thursday. Not this coming one and not the one after that. It's just look on the calendar. It's the 12th or something. I don't want to give you the wrong date, but it is the 12th. That is the new extended date for the Grande giveaway. So just a quick kind of review of the rules. We've got a lot of prizes we're giving away. We've got 2 smartphones, 3 media streaming sticks, a Bluetooth speaker, lots of awesome stuff. All you guys got to do is make sure you're subscribed here to the Mobile Cup of Joe YouTube channel, and then just go ahead and send in a video of yourself saying the Mobile Cup of Joe intro phrase, go on down, grab a coffee cup, take a swig, all that good stuff, and then just go ahead and upload that to YouTube and share it on any of the socials using the hashtag MCOJBrew. We've gotten a few entries so far, not as many as we were kind of expecting to see, but we still have a lot of awesome entries in, so thank you so much to those of you guys out there who have sent in your videos. It's been really, really awesome and really cool to watch the videos come and see just these people all across the country send in stuff to us. So it's been fun, and we're really looking forward to getting more videos in from you guys. Again, all the official rules for the giveaway will be in the description below, and the new date, just make sure you get your videos in by February 12th, where we will announce the winners and all that good stuff on the following What's Brewing show. So the 13th, which is the Friday following that.
Friday the 13th. Ooh.
Yeah, so knowing us, Google Haines is probably going to crash. None of our microphones are probably going to work, so it should be a fantastic show.
Seriously, yeah, you never know with all that, do you? You never know who's going to drop in and drop out and all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's talk some freshly brewed news. There is a ton of stuff to go on, because really we've got 2 weeks of stuff to go through. A lot of Microsoft stuff going on, and I'm just going to start left to right. You guys just chime in. Chuck, what's the bit of Microsoft news that you've got for us?
Well, actually, I'm going to ping pong this one over to Fred, because I know Fred was awfully excited about some of the Microsoft stuff, so I'm going to let him go first.
Sure. First thing is something that was kind of being bantered about in the media for a while in the weeks leading up to the official announcement of Windows 10 and the upgrade program. And the big question that was burning on everybody's minds was who was going to get the free upgrade to Windows 10. Was it just going to be Windows 8, 8.1 users and so on, and now the word is out there. Everybody who owns a copy of Windows going back to Windows 7, I believe, which is pretty much anybody that's bought a PC in the last 5 years or so, is going to be entitled to a free upgrade to the corresponding version of Windows 10. Which is, I think, just a great move for Microsoft to kind of cinch a little more of a stronghold on the market, as opposed to having it be an elite upgrade where you got to go out and pay $100 to upgrade your computer, or you're outdated, or you might as well switch over to another operating system. And the other thing, which I think we just discovered, is that this does not apply to enterprise editions, which I think is also really completely appropriate. Let the corporations who should be paying for licenses for their thousands of seats of machines that they use pay the price for it, and let the home users get it for free. Keep Windows in front of everyone, and have a platform that developers are going to want to develop for, because there will be still zillions and zillions of Windows computers out there. So I think it's a great move for Microsoft. The only way I think that they could improve on it even further would be to open source Windows and let everybody play around with it on those terms. Not that we think that's going to happen even under Nadella, but that would be an awfully neat twist if they open sourced at least the home user versions of Windows.
Yeah, I don't think there's a snowball's chance of that.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen, but who knows?
It would be nice, though. Yes, at least a little part of it, or the homebrew version of it. I can agree. So, what else is Microsoft going on? We got the Microsoft Mania, really, is what we're discussing. Windows 10, HoloLens, Surface Hub. They've invested into some interesting companies here. What else is going on? Keep going.
Well, let me grab HoloLens, and I know Joe is going to want to chime in on that because he was as excited as me. But I just want to take you guys back to the show before last, the last one that I was at, when we were talking about Google Glass and where things were going, and what my comment was that I think the most interesting application of wearable lenses is going to be in the augmented reality space. And obviously Microsoft was watching the show or listened to the podcast, because only a couple of days after that they announced HoloLens, which is kind of their answer to Google Glass, but it's Google Glass squared or cubed or raised to a much higher power. And among other things, it's essentially set up primarily for augmented reality applications, including three-dimensional holograms, which is just mind-blowing. And I can't wait to get a peek through these and see. And what's on screen now, podcast listeners are not going to get to see, but this is available on Microsoft's website, are some of the applications in which there would be value in superimposing 3D holograms over your ordinary viewing space.
HoloLens now running Cyanogen mode. Sorry, I had to do that.
Yeah, I know when I was watching the live stream that Microsoft was sharing through their website when HoloLens was announced, and I know I was in a chat with Ben Schoen and Patrick that we had on the show a couple times before, and it was just like everyone was like typing in caps. There was like exclamation marks flying everywhere. Like we were just like all freaking out that like holograms were like a thing now, because we've got like Oculus Rift, we've got Google Cardboard, which are all really, Google Cardboard for like $10 if you want to just buy the components to build it. I mean, those are all really cool experiences. I mean, especially if you get the chance to try Oculus Rift, is just amazing how immersive it is. But that's really not the direction that HoloLens is going, because instead of completely taking you out of the real world and putting you in a completely virtual, like new virtual reality, this is kind of merging a virtual reality with the current reality you are in. So if you watched the Microsoft's like live keynote, I think you can probably catch it on YouTube or something. Just the demo for it that they showed off, because you watch the kind of the promo trailers and stuff, and it's all beautifully animated and everything looks absolutely perfect. And we all know that's not going to be how the actual final product is. But when they were demoing it on stage, they actually had a camera set up where you could see what the lady who was demonstrating HoloLens looked like, and it really does look quite beautiful. The interface for the holograms and the kind of 3D modeling studio she was using looked really beautiful, and I just think there is a huge amount of potential for this, because this is, like I said, not really a similar product to Oculus Rift or similar product to Google Cardboard, because I mean we've got implementations where we saw demonstrations that a lady was wearing the HoloLens. She's working on like changing pipes by her sink, and there's a guy talking to her on Skype. You can go ahead and draw arrows on Skype, and they'll show up on the sink where she needs to go ahead and change pipes and stuff. We've saw demonstrations of having, like your living room, and then HoloLens can scan that, and then you've got like Minecraft set up all over your house, which is pretty much now like that's probably the only reason why Microsoft bought Minecraft or bought MobileCupOfJoe or whatever. But it's not a bad idea. I'm not complaining, because I kind of really want to play Minecraft in my house. I mean, that's just an awesome nerdy thing right there. And I'll go ahead and screen share kind of a little image of what we're looking at right now for the current kind of version of HoloLens. Now, Microsoft hasn't said if this design is going to change, because they haven't really officially said when HoloLens is going to come out. They've just said that's going to be available sometime within the lifetime of Windows 10, and that could mean a whole lot of things. Right now, it is kind of bulky. You can see that it doesn't really completely immerse your eyes. You still have kind of a lens there where you can look out. It looks kind of dorky. It does look very nerdy. It's definitely a much bulkier than Google Glass, but you have to understand this thing has a lot more power than Google Glass. Instead of just a little screen in the upper right-hand corner of your vision, I mean, this is immersing you with everything around you. And I think I gotta say the coolest thing that I saw during their keynote was they had the lady demonstrating HoloLens go ahead and design kind of like a quadcopter with the 3D modeling software with HoloLens, but then they were actually able to 3D print that object, and then they took that off stage and like flew the thing. So I mean, just like trying to imagine you're creating a hologram and then 3D printing this thing and flying it is just like, I saw that, I'm like, I gotta sit down, take a minute, like this is the future. Microsoft is doing this, and I think the kicker for this thing is that they have been designing this thing for years in a basement below their visitor center in Seattle. Like, that's just some kind of science fiction crap right there. I mean, like, you can complain about Microsoft all you want, but having them, like, a company work in like a top secret lab below their visitor center on like holograms, that's just sweet. So I'm rambling on. I'm absolutely loving holograms are the future, so I'll let whoever wants to go ahead and take this off, but yeah, I'm just absolutely thrilled to get my hands on this.
I just want to add that, it may be nerdy looking, and yeah, it's a nerdy or geeky product, but the point here is not how it looks from the outside, but how it looks from the inside, and I can't wait to get a view of these.
Right, and aside from just looking cool and like being able to play Minecraft and stuff, I mean, they're working with NASA. You can, go to Mars and like look at rock formations and stuff on there. I mean, just the business uses that this thing could be capable of is just, I mean, virtually endless, because we haven't really seen this type of technology before. So, I mean, right now it's kind of cute stuff. It's building building 3D rocket ships, playing Minecraft. You got all the cool kind of I don't want to say gimmicky stuff right now, but I mean, of course it's going to be gimmicky. That's how companies lure us into new ideas and new products. But I think maybe 5 years or so after HoloLens has been a thing, as developers really get the hang of it, I think we're going to really see some absolutely amazing things that we can't even comprehend right now that's going to be possible with holograms later on down the road. What do you got? What are your guys' thoughts on holograms? You convinced by them, or you think it's just another kind of Oculus Rift type of thing?
Well, for me, I'm excited by the idea of real holograms, which this is virtual holograms that only one person can see at a time. If they even brought it to the point where maybe I could have one and my wife could have one and we could both see the same thing at different angles, that would be cool. Something like that. Where it knows where both of us are in space and can give us the display, or you could even do those. I'm sure everybody's seen that YouTube video showing people playing on Google Glass or whatever it was. People using their guns, their fingers as laser guns, and shooting each other at kind of a laser tag in the house. That type of thing would be really neat. But I'm really more excited for actual holograms. The idea of actual holograms that can pop up in the middle of your living room and talk to you, stuff like you'd see in Iron Man when he's designing something and grabbing it and making it bigger and stuff like that. That's what I'm more excited about. For something like this is really, really cool for people who like travel a lot, especially. But as far as head-mounted displays, it's very interesting to see the turn they're taking, and I'm really surprised that nobody is trying to make them look less conspicuous. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it is cool, but I always have to kind of tell myself to slow down. Like, no one else is gonna be able to see this. Like, it's still only limited to the one person who's wearing the headset. So that is definitely a limitation for it, and I think it's still gonna be quite a while before we get like what you're talking about, like actual holograms that we don't need a head-mounted display to see. But I think this is definitely a step in the right direction to hopefully maybe 10 years or something from now get to that point where we are working like Iron Man with our holographic maps, and we've got, I don't know, Emperor Palpatine talking to us in a wavy blue hologram.
Well, it's going to take a lot more hardware to do that, to actually have something present that's going to be projecting the hologram into the middle of your living room, unless everybody's going to have some kind of, I don't know, virtual holographic contact lenses implanted in them, which, who knows.
Well, that's the future.
Hey, can you guys hear me? I know I crashed out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Sorry about that. And the future of it is it gets off of your head and it's like interconnected with the mailbox and the coffee pot and all that kind of stuff. So the same type of technology where it shines up, I think, could be there without having to wear something all the time, even a contact lens or anything like that. So I hope I didn't miss anything when we crashed out. So, did we finish our HoloLens talk? Or are we right in the middle of it? I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
yeah.
You're just ruining the show now. I mean,
well, Chuck, you're just mad at me because I'm here. So.
Oh.
Well, we also got some announcements for Microsoft Surface Hub, which is still very cool. I mean, I'm still on like cloud 9 with these holograms, but Chuck or Fred, what is this Surface Hub and why should we care about this?
Well, those of us in the business world actually care about the Service Hub. Me specifically, I work from home, so everyone I work with is remote. So we don't have an office. I don't see people on a daily basis. So this Microsoft Hub is kind of interesting to me. For those of you guys who haven't seen it, basically envision an 84-inch TV that's running Windows, which you kind of think to yourself, well, why would I want an 84-inch TV running Windows? But it's got a lot of really cool features built in. So it's got a number of things built in for business, such as video conferencing. It's going to obviously have Skype for Business built in. It's got microphones, cameras, NFC, Wi-Fi built in. It's also got a digital whiteboard. So basically you can go up there as you're video conferencing with people, start drawing on the screen, making notes, and everyone's going to see what's happening, and then of course you can send it to people at the end. So for businesses, this is a incredible tool. Of course I don't think they've announced pricing, so let's hope it's not like $50,000, because then maybe no one will probably use it. But if they can make this affordable, then this is a super useful business tool, because one of the things that in today's world is a big problem in business is you often do have people working remotely. You don't always have people in the same room. So having meetings has, its share of difficulties, whereas a tool like this is exactly what you would want. You have someone holding a meeting, they're sitting there, they're drawing ideas out there, or if it's affordable enough, shoot, everyone on your team has one. So you guys are sitting there, you're doing your whiteboarding sessions remotely, you're doing your video conferencing, and it's just like you're in the same exact room. So like I said, I think pricing is going to be a big thing here. What's the pricing going to be, and then to see how much is going to actually penetrate into the market. But I'm really excited. I think it's going to be kind of cool. It's going to kind of open up really business to better communication among workers, which may or may not be right there right now. There are tools like this that exist right now, but they're super expensive, and so most people don't have them. So I hope Microsoft brings the price of this within range of actually being able to get it in a lot of people's hands, and then I think they've got something here.
Well, what's the difference between that and using a tablet with Hangouts as it is now? Other than it's a big screen that if you have a group of like 6 of you in a room, you could all share it, but in general, what makes this so much better than just having a tablet?
Well, a tablet's limited screen real estate. So especially in the programming world, we do a lot of whiteboarding sessions. You can kind of see the whiteboard I have behind me, which is kind of small. But when we're going through our whiteboarding sessions and we're drawing up diagrams and these things, a tablet just doesn't cut it. It's too small. You need a lot of real estate, a lot of space to be able to really draw those ideas out. And the same is true for a lot of business. Can you make it work on a tablet? Yeah, probably. But it's nice to have that additional real estate. And I think the one big kicker is, like you said, if you do actually have, let's say, multiple teams that are kind of in the same room, it does help with that visibility of the people in the same room as well.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, just me, I'm a small-minded guy, so I need smaller things, But that makes sense, with the bigger companies, bigger enterprise, and all that. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, that is a pretty cool thing. Now that you explained it a little better, or a little clearer for this guy. So no, that makes sense, and it's very cool. Very good, very good. Yeah, because in our notes I see Surface Hub is enormous and awesome, and I want to know why it's awesome. Convince me. It's a hard sell for Microsoft.
Here we go. Surface Hub plus Joe's holographic stuff here, with your things on it. Oh man, you're gonna be drawing as you're seeing these holograms all over the place. Man, just we're all gonna be going all over.
One day we're all gonna have our HoloLenses on. We're gonna be like we're gonna switch to Skype, doing our Hangout show on here on our 85-inch Surface Hub. That's the future right there.
And it'll be like rollout. It won't be like a big LCD screen or something like that.
Exactly.
With it. All right, so what else is Microsoft doing? They're invested into some crazy companies. What's going on there?
Microsoft is investing in CyanogenMod. Actually, so CyanogenMod Incorporated, the business. Allegedly. Well, okay. We'll know soon enough, because once the round of funding is closed, then I think they you actually find out who the backers were. So allegedly, Microsoft is dumping a whole bunch of money into CyanogenMod. Probably not like most people think. So for those people who aren't familiar with how the startup world works, basically you raise rounds of funding as your company theoretically grows. So you have your first round of funding and your next round, and so I don't know. I think this is round 2 or 3 for a CyanogenMod. Basically, they're having people invest in the company, and then that way they can hire more people and actually maybe make some money at some point in time in the future. So supposedly this last round of funding, one of the major backers in the round of funding was Microsoft, which is kind of interesting if you think about it, because why would Microsoft want to invest in Android? It's kind of interesting to me. I'll go with the conspiracy theory, and probably I think what I would lend it more towards is that Microsoft wants to disrupt Android any way that they can. Android, like iOS, is a competitor to Windows Phone. It's a competitor to Microsoft. So why not disrupt it a little bit? Why not put a little bit of turmoil in there? Throw some money at CyanogenMod, who is pretty outspoken. They came out not too long ago essentially saying that we envision an Android world without Google, without the need for Google, which is pretty bold statement to come out and say. I gotta say, I don't quite know, what good stuff is up there in Seattle, but whatever it is, it's apparently pretty good.
Isn't that equivalent to saying, I imagine, a Windows without Microsoft? I mean, are they not interconnected that tightly?
They're not.
Yeah.
Because Android was Android before Google. Google bought them.
Yeah,
and
but 20 years
But Google
ago,
owns it. It's a product. It's a product, and Google owns it. Chuck, I love a good conspiracy theory as much as you do, but I'm thinking that this is not a Microsoft of the 1990s move, and they're not looking to shut down Google. A couple of points here are, first off, what I'm seeing now is that although the original reports talked about Microsoft investing $70 million in CyanogenMod, the later reports seem to be altering that and correcting it to say that it's a $70 million round of funding. So the total investments that are being raised now are $70 million, and that Microsoft is probably a minor investor in that $70 million. But interesting point to consider here. And this was something that I know I had heard before and just saw again this evening in prepping for the show, is that Microsoft actually currently gets more revenue from patent licensing by Android than it makes off of Windows Phone. So I don't know that they're really looking to shut down. One thing that's easy to forget, although we see the stuff in the news about all the legal battles, is that these manufacturers and Google and Apple and Microsoft, as far as operating systems, are constantly fighting each other in these legal battles as to who stole some feature that somebody had a patent on first, and there's a lot of money flying back and forth. And that I think is an astounding piece of statistic, that Microsoft is actually making more on basically their lawsuits against Google for Android than it makes on selling Windows phones.
I just want to hop back to the... You can go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I mean, I've used CyanogenMod on numerous devices. I just want to hop back to Cyanogen, like trying to off Google right here. I've used Cyanogen on multiple devices before, and it's a very nice version of the Android OS. There's a lot of cool features. It's very open source. There's a big modding community behind it, a big dev support community. There's nightlies and new versions of CM11, CM12. They're coming out for devices all the time. But I don't know where in the hell this CEO of Cyanogen is getting the idea that they can get away from Google. Okay, Cyanogen Inc., I get you. You're an official company now. You're getting some money, but we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar company here with Google. This is some kid. This isn't a little kid in the sandbox. This is like little Timmy, who's like 8 feet tall and like 700 pounds. I mean, this is a huge company. You have a nice version of the Android operating system, but where do you think you're going to get away from Google? Cyanogen is talking about making their own app store, their own services. That is not going to work. People are not going to move from the Google Play Store. They're not going to move from all these services they've been using for years now to go to some new service that most consumers have never even heard of. Yeah, it's on the OnePlus One. Yeah, it's on that Eureka or whatever that one Indian CyanogenMod phone is. They're not going to go to something like that just because you think you're all big and bad and you can make your own operating system that isn't reliant on Google services. I know I'm ranting quite a lot right here, but I heard
Amazon.
I just could not comprehend it at all.
Well, when
I mean, we've talked about it before with Samsung and Amazon, Chuck, and I'll let you talk about that part. But Samsung, of all the people in the world, have about the best place to break off and do their thing without Android, Google, and their own store, and they're not doing it. What about Amazon, Chuck?
Yeah, well, we see how well it's worked out for Amazon, right? I mean, they've tried to open their own app store and fork Android, and their devices sell decently well, only because people want Amazon, not because So what's OnePlus going to offer? Free shipping now on warehouses all over the world. I mean, or give me a video service. Give me the 20 millionth video service. I mean, there's nothing they can offer that would possibly make me want them over Google, especially with every decision they've made in the last 6 months. That I sit here and just go in my head and go, it's a good thing you don't have to make any money yet. That you're still a startup company because you'd be bankrupt by now.
Well, it's with Amazon too. They're like a legit company. I mean, they've got money to take risks like that. And yeah, I mean, Amazon's Fire OS may not be, a great version of Android, if you even want to call it still a version of Android at this point, where it's really Fire OS at this point in time. But I mean, they have the Kindle library, they have Prime Instant Video, where as far as my knowledge goes, you still cannot get a legit way to watch Prime Instant Video on an Android device. I mean, Amazon at least has a couple of compelling reasons to use their features, and I will say, the Fire phone was not a very good phone by any means, but if you could pick that thing up for like $200 unlocked, I mean, if you're invested in the Amazon ecosystem, you are constantly reading Kindle books, you're constantly watching Prime Video, you're shopping on Amazon like every single day. The Kindle Fire tablets and the Fire phone, if you get it cheap enough, those are not bad products if you are invested in the ecosystem, and that's a company that can afford to make a move like that. CyanogenMod does not have much money. They are trying to go for something that is not going to go well at all. I mean, Amazon, they can do that, but CyanogenMod, I mean, you're talking no money. You're talking just essentially a thing that started out as a couple modders. It's a cool take on Android, but to build up your own application service, I mean, they're going to have to get developers to say, hey, yes, we will put this application on your store. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if you look at Samsung's TouchWiz, you look at HTC Sense, I mean, look at all these skins for Android. You go ask any average consumer, they're not going to know what in the heck you're talking about if you say CyanogenMod or CM11S. I mean, they're not going to know what the heck you're talking about. So I don't know what they're thinking. Like you said, Chuck, I don't know what they're smoking down there, but must be some strong stuff, because this is some big claims that CyanogenMod thinks they can get away with. And I think they're letting their heads get a bit too big than the position they're currently in and stuff they can really handle at this point.
Well, and look at what's happened to every other manufacturer that has come out with an Android device that doesn't have all the Google services built in. You've got Amazon, who has the mildly successful Fire line of tablets and completely unsuccessul Fire phone, and we'll see if they make that mistake again. And then look at the what was it, the Nokia X Android based smartphones that didn't have the Play Store, and as far as I know, didn't have any kind of, did they have the Amazon Market or something? I don't know. But when you just can't do it, you can't get away from it. The only place that you can get away with it is in emerging markets where nobody is dependent upon Google yet. And there's a lot of, I think I saw an estimate recently in an article about 1/3 worldwide of Android smartphones and tablets don't have Google services, and that's outside of the U.S. because they're cheap, very cheap devices that didn't go through the process to get verified by Google or certified by Google. And now that process is much easier. So even the cheaper ones, like that Malaise phone we got, that's actually a fairly budget device, has Google services where, probably the reason we hadn't heard about Malaise up until recently, or Malaise, whatever it is because they probably didn't ever come with Google services until now. and now they're wanting to get it out. So, yeah, you can make a device that's good. And the other problem I see with the CyanogenMod is now what they're associating with, or now they're pairing themselves with companies that don't make good phones. Like they're pairing themselves with this Micromax, and Micromax makes that new U phone, right? Whatever it is. Either way, it's not great. It's not a good, it's not like where they paired up with OnePlus, and Oppo has always made strong hardware, and they're huge outside of the U.S. And they got like the best hardware available at the time, and let them, and put it out and said, this is our flagship killer. Now what are they going to do? They're going to release budget device killers, and they're definitely not going to do it without Google. Definitely not going to do it without Google, especially with how you're hot or cold about CyanogenMod. There's very few people who are like, yeah, take it or leave it. You either love them or you hate them.
Yeah, I don't see how here in the U.S. without Google services. I mean, like you said, it's just, other countries, I think especially China, not having Google services is a little bit more accepted. But here in the U.S., if you're an Android phone, you better have Google services.
Well, don't forget that they can't, as a lot of these ROMs can't, actually include Google Apps as a part of the package. So, we're all in the habit of flashing Cyanogen ROM or flashing a ROM, and then you flash your Google Apps on top of that. If they're looking at a phone coming with their own customized brand of Android or something that they can deliver over the air, they're not going to be able to include the Play Store on that. Everybody on this show and probably most of our viewers are going to be fine with flashing the ROM, flashing the gaps on top of it. But if they're trying to appeal to the masses, I guess they're trying to come up with some kind of an alternative package that they can put on there that will be self-sufficient. So I see where they're coming from, but I don't see that it's gonna take in the wild, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely an interesting future to see how all this pans out, exactly where it all goes. So let's move on. We've got some quickie topics here too, and we can go ahead and talk about it. Joe, you got some interesting information on Cricket and some of their new offerings. Go ahead and share with that. What's brewing with that?
Yeah, so for those of you guys that don't know, I am a customer of Cricket Wireless, which is essentially kind of like a no contract, not prepaid, but like no contract cell phone service that now uses AT&T's coverage. So the service now is actually really awesome. It's not crappy like it was before they did get AT&T's service with it. But they went ahead and they did actually, I got an email from one of my PR contacts there, and they actually announced quite a lot of awesome new additions to their service. Probably the biggest one for me is that they actually went through their basic, smart, and pro plans and just went ahead and bumped up all the data capabilities with them. So for the basic, smart, and pro plans, all these are technically unlimited plans, but the basic plan, normally you get like 1 gigabyte of high-speed data before they go ahead and cut your limit. And before that too, there's like the smart plan, you get 3 gigs of 4G LTE, then they throttle you. And then the pro plan, you get like 10 gigs, and they throttle you too. So unlimited, but after you go over a certain gigabyte usage, they do go ahead and cut you down to like 128 kilobytes or gigabits per second, whatever it is. I'm tired. I don't know. kbps, you know the drill. But they went ahead and they announced they actually just added a ton of more data to their plans. So now for the basic plan, instead of just having 1 gigabyte of high-speed data, you're going to now be getting 2.5 gigabytes. So an additional 1.5 gigs is pretty substantial. From just 1 little gigabyte, which is actually the plan that I'm on myself. Going on to the smart plan, instead of what you did have with 3 gigabytes of high-speed data, you now have 5 gigabytes before they do throttle you. The pro plan is still at 10 gigabytes, which is still pretty hefty. And then they actually have a brand new advanced plan for a limited time, where you're going to get 20 gigabytes of high-speed data before you do get throttled. Now they also, they've got, if you have auto pay signed up, you get $5 off your monthly bill. So for your basic plan for unlimited texting, unlimited voice minutes, and 2.5 gigabytes of high-speed 4G LTE data on the AT&T network, you're only going to be paying $35 a month, which is not a bad deal at all. It was actually probably one of the cheapest out there you're going to find that has reliable service, because a lot of these prepaid carriers, they use Sprint and the Now Waiting Network, as I heard someone call the other day, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. So actually having a good, well-priced plan here with pretty reasonable amount of data, because 2.5 gigabytes may not be a lot, but I mean for most people that's plenty to get through, you know, a month if you're not streaming YouTube and streaming like high quality music all throughout the month. A couple new things too. They've got a few discounts on their phones. You can get a lot of sales. You know, the Nokia Lumia 635 is actually free now with the mail-in rebate, which is actually a pretty decent phone. And you can actually also get a free month of service now if you sign up for the Smart, Pro, or Advanced plan to go ahead and get a full free month of the service. So I think this is all awesome news. Like I said, being a Cricket customer, I love seeing you know, my data increase from 1 gig to 2.5 gigs, because that's a pretty hefty increase of the data I can use throughout the month, and I've absolutely loved, you know, being with Cricket Wireless for the time that I have been. It's a really awesome company. Go ahead and check out their site. They've got a lot of sweet phones in their lineup, and you can go ahead, since it is AT&T, bring over any, you know, GSM unlocked phone and get it working with the service. That's what I've actually got, you know, my Moto X signed up with. So go ahead and check them out. I mean, if you've been thinking about going to Cricket, this is probably probably your best time to go with them, since the plans are all increased. You got lots of awesome deals on possibly some free phones with mail-in rebates, and get a free month of service. So, you know, if you're looking to switch over, you want AT&T, but you don't want to be stuck into your contract, definitely give Cricket a try, because I've been with them for, I don't know, 3 or 4 months now, and you know, have no complaints whatsoever. So very awesome time to make the switch if you've been thinking about it.
And before anybody asks, no, we're not sponsored by Cricket just
No.
yet.
Yeah.
Joe just did a great plug, though, so Cricket, if you're listening, apparently we're available. So.
Yeah, not a sponsor right now, but I mean, go ahead and give us a call, send something to our PO box if you do want to hook that up. But I'm glad you pointed that out, because I was getting kind of, you know, pressy with that there. But yeah, they didn't sponsor us to say that. I just absolutely love the service, and you know, that's awesome stuff they're doing too. Like, so yeah, that's not sponsored. That's not no one's paying me to say that. Just very. I mean, you know, it'd be nice if they were, but no, that's just very awesome stuff that Cricket announced today.
All right, so speaking of the now waiting network and other things, Google MVNO rumors. Chuck, you want to tackle that one for us? You've mentioned MVNO on the show before.
Yes, so there is multiple reports that have come out this week that Google is in the final stages of rolling out an MVNO. For those of you guys who don't know what an MVNO is, it's I don't actually know what the MVNO stands for, but basically what it is it's a company that doesn't own the wireless towers that they're bouncing off of. They rent them from other people. Cricket, which is what Joe was just talking about, that's an MVNO. They don't own the towers. They use AT&T's towers, but Cricket is the company that you pay for. So there's a lot of small companies that do this around the U.S. You know, Smart Talk. There's a bunch of them. So basically, what Google is looking to do here, supposedly, is roll out their own Wi-Fi, roll out their own cell service. Now, we don't know a whole lot of details, and obviously, it's all speculation at this point. But supposedly, it will be Sprint and T-Mobile's network and Wi-Fi. So what the idea is that basically whatever phone, presumably probably the Nexus 6 first, it will actually test the network strength around you and decide whether to use Wi-Fi if you're near Wi-Fi. It'll use Sprint's network if Sprint's is the strongest near you, or to use T-Mobile's if T-Mobile's is the strongest near you. So it'll bounce between the three of those to basically give you calling, voice, data, text messaging. Now, I'm really kind of curious to see how they're going to do this, because it wouldn't actually surprise me at all if they did something like data only and used Google Voice, Hangouts for your text messaging, your voice. They've already got all that integrated into Hangouts, so it would kind of make sense if that became like the Google MVNO was Hangouts. Used your Google number. You know, they've made a big push here recently. With Google Voice and the Google numbers to get MMS and SMS working across all the carriers. They've done a lot of work on the Android side of things, so you can make phone calls through Hangouts, those kind of things. So, you know, obviously pure speculation from me at this point, but I would not be surprised if it was a data-only type service, and everything went through Hangouts as far as voice and SMS and all that stuff went. Be kind of cool. Rumors are it's going to roll out sometime this year, but no one knows for sure. Although supposedly it was going to be rolled out late last year and got pushed. So it could get pushed again. Who knows? And it's all speculation at this point until Google actually announces it. But I guess the question is, would anyone be interested in a Google MVNO? I would.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, that's
me
kind of
too.
what I'm doing now. You know, you touched on it, doing everything through Hangouts. That's what I do now. I've got a 1 gig data plan on my tablet, and I do all my calls and texts and everything. If I've got data, I've got my phone. So, yeah, I'm completely with you because they've partnered with, who is it, Starbucks right now. So all the Wi-Fi in Starbucks is Google Wi-Fi. Are there in the
Well, that means there's
transition
going to be
that?
Wi-Fi. There'll be Google data available on every street corner, basically.
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to talk about a city, yeah, instantly coverage right there, you know, because, yeah, there's a Starbucks everywhere. And now if you're in the middle of nowhere like Chuck and Joe are, then, okay, yeah, you're going to need some, you know, some other options. So, yeah, I can say absolutely I jump on it. I mean, I'm not contract. I pay $20 a month for 1 gig of data. That's the cheapest data plan that I can find. If anybody knows of a cheaper data plan, I'm all about it. That's through T-Mobile, and I get free music streaming, so I never touch my gig of data in a month, and I get 10 gigs of that data stash that Kim Kardashian's, you know, pushing out so hard right now. So,
Hey,
yeah.
Alvie, speaking of which, how's your review of Kim Kardashian Hollywood going?
Oh man, well, I told you I was sick, and I didn't want to throw up this week, so I haven't reviewed that.
Excuses.
But honestly, that's why I haven't. But I've got everything set up, and my plan is tomorrow after work is to actually do that review. It's going to be more like a let's play review. Like I'm just going to start it up and go for it. So it won't be so like produced with different like cuts and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty much going to be raw. But yeah, I hope to have that done tomorrow evening. Or Monday at the latest. Monday's a good studio day for me at the latest. But yeah, I didn't want to throw it this week, so I didn't want to do that. I told you I wasn't feeling well. So, speaking of not feeling well, Chuck hates me and Fred. And it's time to just get this out in the open. Chuck, Fred, and I used to be friends, and we're no longer friends. And this is because Fred and I are reviewing and have the preview copies and all that stuff of Sling TV. And I'm going to defer to Fred so he can catch everybody up. Fred, what is Sling?
Well, let me just say that Chuck, we're still your friends here, and you're welcome to come over to my house and watch Sling TV at any time. If you're in the neighborhood or you want to make a special trip here just for that, that's okay. This actually, it kind of started off going back, I guess 3-4 weeks ago, whenever it was that CES was going on, and I was blog posting one evening, and actually in our What's Brewing hangout, I put out the question, hey, who thinks of something that's hot at CES? And it was Chuck who said, check out Sling TV. And, I picked up the press release. I said, damn, this is hot stuff. And it tied into other things.
Oh, looks like Fred got muted.
Yep,
Did we
I
lose
think
him?
we lost you there, Fred.
Fred, come back to us. Fred.
See, that's what you
That's
get
Fred.
when you tick off Chuck. All of a sudden, you suddenly just get the mute in the middle of the hangout.
The powers
this
that
is
be, Chuck, man, you're brutal.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
We
sir,
can,
yes.
Fred.
Yes. Maybe.
Maybe he can't hear us.
Can you hear us at all, Fred? All right, while Fred gets that, let me, here's what
Am I
Sling
coming
TV
through?
is,
No?
and you guys chime in and help me out, too, because I want to
Yep.
make sure I describe it right. Sling TV is Dish's offering for like a bridge between television and streaming. So their goal is to catch the cord cutters and the cord nevers, as they call it, millennials who typically have never purchased a cable or television or satellite subscription or anything like that. That's you, Tony?
Yeah, but Joe waved, so I waved too. We
Oh,
both-
gotcha.
I never had.
I saw the wave.
I lived at home either.
But
so.
yeah, and me too. I cut the cord well over a year ago, and there are certain things, honestly, I miss with not having traditional television. One of those being sports and some of the more popular common channels and shows. My wife especially likes HGTV. I got the baby in here, and he likes Disney and all that kind of stuff. So what Dish has done pretty much is picked kind of the cream of the crop, and they've picked about a dozen or so channels and have offered them for $20 a month, and it's a streaming type service. So on your tablet, and then connect it to your Roku or Chromecast, Fire Stick device, something like that, one of the streaming devices, and then you can watch it on your television just like normal, or on your mobile device. And honestly, Chuck, I'm going to rub it in. It's pretty stinking cool, man.
Where's my mute button? Hold on, let me find it here.
So the basic package is 12 channels right now. It does include some of the sports channels, two ESPN channels, and there are supplemental packages as well. At the moment, there is a kids TV package. There is a news TV package, which we've also got in the review package, and there's a pretty extensive library of video on demand, which includes a lot of what look to be pretty current movies and a lot of classic stuff as well. And they have said that this is going to be expanding over the course of the coming year. So it'll be interesting to see how far it goes, how much gets included in the basic package, how much becomes add-ons. But it does sound like there will be more add-on packages as well. We don't know quite what those are going to be yet. And it does run through, at the moment, it's available to stream through Roku, Fire Stick, Fire TV, and there is an app that will run on Android and iOS as well. Eventually it'll run in web browsers, and I think they're looking at more streaming devices at the same time.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start a mutiny with you, Chuck. I don't have Sling TV either, so we'll go ahead and we'll fight for it ourselves. But no, this
I gotta live vicariously, so I'll ask you a question. So a couple things I have noticed, even though I don't have the service. It has ESPN. It has ESPN2. Also, I just noticed that the Watch ESPN app now has the ability to log into the Watch ESPN app using your Sling TV credentials.
Oh, nice.
So what that means is you can use the Watch ESPN app, which you have to subscribe to some kind of cable service with ESPN in order to use, but it will accept your Sling TV credentials, which means you also get ESPN3, which is online only, through the Watch ESPN app. You also get all the other stuff there, which is really, really cool. So it looks like ESPN is really behind this big time, which is kind of a big deal because sports has traditionally been the cable cutter's worst nightmare.
Yes.
Most sports you can get, MLB has their app you can buy, NHL has the app. The NFL is still moronic, and you can't actually buy it unless you go buy Dish. Although, I do have some high hopes now that the NFL and Google have signed an agreement to do YouTube highlights. I'm hoping maybe that Google will just buy the rights to Sunday Ticket, and we'll be able to buy Sunday Ticket through YouTube. Please, Google, please. But so my understanding is some of the channels are live only, so like ESPN, I'm assuming. But some of the channels, I think you can actually start the show over.
Yeah, and I was going to touch a little bit on my impressions with it and like actually using this thing. And that's what impressed me the most, the start over feature. This is where they bridge the streaming versus live TV type deal with it. Because I was watching Food Network, and I like Cutthroat Kitchen, and I missed, 2 episodes or whatever, and the show came on after it. And typically, if you're on the traditional television, sucks to be you unless you DVR'd it. Well, there's not a DVR, so to speak, but you can, start over. So what I did is I went back 2 hours and started over there at that show. So I was able to catch the 2 shows prior. Now, I haven't gone through all the channels like what you're talking about, Chuck. I'm not sure if ESPN has it the same way or what their deal is.
It does not, actually, and not all channels have it. In ESPN, at least the one that I was playing around with yesterday, did not have the ability to pause, DVR features, pausing and fast-forwarding and rewinding. So I think that's channel-specific, and I'm not sure just what the deal is, why some channels would prefer to offer it that way or not, but it's not universal yet.
I have a question.
and
What about like the? I just got a quick question. Like, what about the like the general video quality of it? Because I know like everyone has like Netflix, everyone know how Hulu runs, but do you notice any like issues of buffering, or does it look like pretty clear like in general when you are streaming it?
We mostly were playing with it using the Roku, and they did supply a Roku 3, and it was coming through clear. There was no buffering, no lag. It seems that video on demand is available in HD or non-HD, and I haven't done enough with that to compare them as yet, and I haven't spent enough time with the app on a phone or on a tablet, either Android or iOS, to really see how it works on Wi-Fi, how it works on a data plan, and so on. But we'll certainly be testing it. There'll be more to come on that.
Yeah, and I haven't been out on mobile data yet, but I have done Wi-Fi on my tablet. And there are extra features on the tablet that you can't get through the television side of it, at least through the Roku part of it. And it's typically more DVR type features. Like on the Roku, I can't find a way to like back up 10 seconds or back up 30 seconds if I missed, who just won or who just scored or something like that. There's not that option. Where on the tablet, on the mobile side of things, there is. I can pause, kind of rewind. I can hit the quick rewind button. So there are more options on the mobile. I don't know if they plan to bring that out to the television side or if there's like a licensing issue with all that, or just server side issues. But as far as how it looks and sounds, it's fantastic. I mean, it's super high HD, high def, all that kind of stuff. No buffering, but I do notice every now and again from standard definition to high definition, I guess, as it buffers on the back side of things. So it immediately starts playing whatever channel I click, but it starts out in the grainy style video, and then eventually it warms up. Not long, 15 seconds, something like that on my side. And no buffers. Once that's going, it's good to go. The only thing I have noticed sometimes is some audio-video sync issues, and both ways. So it's not my sound system because I listen to other stuff and watch stuff. Sometimes the audio's a little head, sometimes the video's a little head. So it goes both ways. But I mean, it's for a brand new service that they're starting out like that. I'm really impressed with what they're offering. How many good channels they've got, the features inside of it, how good it looks, and how good it works. Really, I'm having a hard time finding complaints other than just some extra features I'd like to see, like some better DVR features and all that kind of stuff.
Right, because I mean, you're talking like big name channels, like ESPN is probably one of the biggest ones, like TNT, TBS, Food Network, Travel Channel, HGTV. Because I know like those are all channels. I mean, that I like would watch on a regular basis because I mean, we can't get cable out here because it's Lawrence, Michigan. We can't get anything out here. But I mean, I had when I did have satellite. I mean, like those would be channels I'd watch on a pretty consistent basis. But we've been without satellite here for well over a year. We just had like Netflix and Amazon Instant Video, which have been great. I mean, like most of the shows we watch, like The Office, Andrew Griffith Show, Parks and Rec, I mean 30 Rock, all those shows, they're on Netflix. You can catch all the movies and stuff between Netflix and Amazon Instant Video. It's all cool. I know, like Netflix got kind of like collections, like 12 or so episodes of some Food Network shows and some Travel Channel shows. But just to have like live TV, something if you're just like working around the house or be able to just kind of throw on and not have to worry about it, like Food Network or Travel Channel, which are like the perfect background noise channels if you're just doing work around the house. That's what I'm really looking forward to, and just having like live TV, because like I'm a huge fan of Conan O'Brien, so having him on TBS is going to be worth it enough for me to get it.
Yeah, seriously.
So yeah,
and you talk about the background stuff. Like I've found the TV on more than it ever has been, or at least since we got rid of cable or satellite years ago, and just having it on, like what you're talking about. Like with Netflix, you got to set up your queue and some weird show that you don't really care about, but just so it keeps playing. You can't binge watch it because you're, like what you're saying, you're cleaning the house, you're doing dishes or whatever, cooking. You can't focus on the show. And I find it like, hey, what's going on here? Something else I like about it too is on the Roku side of things, or on the streaming, the TV side. I just call it the Roku side because that's all I've got. Watching your show, and if you hit down on the remote, it brings up like a little mini like TV guide. Man, I'm showing my age there, aren't I? little little guide down there, and it tells you what channel, because you can scroll through the channel. So it's like TBS,
Right.
Conan O'Brien. That's all. Just a little black bar.
Nice.
That's all you need to know. Hit down again, it goes up to HGTV, that Brothers show. Hit down again, and it's Food Network, Cutthroat Kitchen. Hit OK, and it goes straight to it. So without having to like interrupt your viewing experience, because that's what's kind of wonky on television. I haven't done that much with the tablet, but I think the same type of options are there too. Have you messed with that too much, Fred?
Not very much. Haven't gotten that far yet. So
There's
we'll
a
have
lot to it.
some more notes to compare next week.
I know, right? There's a ton to it. It's a lot more like full-fledged than I thought it would be at this point, honestly. Like I was really expecting it to be a YouTube version of TV, which kind of like it's just there, go find it, and it's really like well organized and well put together. I mean, it's Dish; they've been in the business for a while. They should kind of know how to run TV. So, but no, I'm super impressed with it, Chuck. I'm glad that I have it, Chuck. And I really hate that you don't have it, Chuck.
Well, for measly peasants like Chuck and I, when can we expect to get our hands on it? Because I think I heard like something about like sometime in January, but we're getting down to the wire of January. So has there been any news as to when?
I've been following them on Twitter, and the word is that if you signed up on the website for early invitations, the invitations are apparently beginning to go out.
Well, my invitation's obviously gotten lost because I signed up day one and it has not gotten in my mailbox yet.
Yeah, mine's been lost too.
Somebody must have intercepted it, obviously.
Clearly.
Yeah, so Sling, expect a nice email from me. We'll link to the show. You know what? We'll be happy to do an entire show on you. You want to give us all Sling TV to test out? We'll test it out. Every single one of us will do an entire show on it. So yeah, let me know.
Hey, I'd love to. I could fill an hour on Sling TV and its wonderful features. And no, at this point, we're not sponsored like Cricket, but we're open to it. Yeah, the way I understand it, like what you're saying, Fred, is the first batch of invites, and I don't know that that's first come, first served, is rolling out. And then within the next 2 weeks, it should start rolling out more to more users, the way I understand it.
Well, Sling obviously just misplaced my email address, so if you want to go ahead and get it again, just send me a message after the show. I'll be sure to get my email address for you, because I know you probably meant to send it out to me, but I know things get mixed up, things can get lost. So I mean, perfectly, it's an honest mistake on your part. So I'll go ahead and take it this time.
I think we have something in the Q&A. A couple things actually. So sorry we didn't get to you, Colin. But the one that I definitely want to address is about CyanogenMod. And the fact is, yes, CyanogenMod, the ROM is released without Google Apps. It never comes with Google Apps unless you're buying a smartphone that has it preloaded, like the OnePlus One or probably this UB King or whatever it is called. So they are packaging it. They are certifying their smartphones for Google. But no, they are not allowed to include Google Apps with their flashable zip for legal reasons, because they can't control what devices those are going on. Anyway, and the answer is no. No, people. Of all the people I've heard, get mad about Google and something they do have a little fit about Google and not want to use Google services for some reason. I don't know anyone who actually uses Android without Google Apps, with the exception of people who use Amazon Kindle Fire's stock. And even then, most people I know with Kindle Fire are running CyanogenMod with Google Apps. So no, if Cyanogen came out with a phone right now, it's going to take, let's just say this, it's going to take a while for them to build up a big enough user base to not include Google Apps and get away with that and still sell phones. And even then, that user base is not going to be domestic. That user base is not going to be in the U.S. Because when you buy an Android phone, you want to log into your Google account, you want to log into your Play Store and download all the apps you know. Because how are Alvie and Joe going to download Snapchat if they don't have the Play Store? Right?
Hey, don't you just talking about people jealous, people hate. Haters gonna hate, man. It's fine. Joe and I are on Snapchat, and
Yes, we are.
You're missing it, Joe. I've got one I'm working on. I'm rebutting your. I don't want to even spoil it on here. You're a fantastic one that I'm in love with. I'm rebutting that one, so be prepared for that one, my friend.
If this wasn't a family-friendly show, I would say so much about Snapchat right now. But it is. So I'm just going to leave all those comments maybe to Google Plus later.
I'll
Yes, we
go
are
ahead and plug it again,
family-friendly.
though. Add me on Snapchat, Joe Martin. It is a fantastic video. Alvie's underselling it. It is gold. So, yeah, that's some good stuff. Go ahead. You're gonna lose probably much respect for me after you watch that from this show, but it's a very, very good 10 seconds right there.
I was unaware of your talents, Joe. I'll say that. So if you haven't
Thank
checked
you.
it, and yeah, if you want to add me, I won't go into the explanation, but my name is Chicken Car Splat on Snapchat. It's the only social I'm on that isn't AW Exit 76. But yes, it's Chicken Car Splat. You can fill in the gaps there, but it's all one word, no spaces. So yes, back to you, Tony. Sorry to interrupt my Snapchat.
And that's about the level of intelligence of user of Snapchat. So
I have Sling. Sure.
all right.
It's getting hot
Man.
in here now.
I know, right? I know. All right. Tony, is that it for your cyanogen questions there? But sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh yeah, no, that's it.
Well, yeah, and looking through, Colin, it's good to see you over there in the Q&A, bud. I know we didn't talk to you too much over there, but we are watching your comments and all that kind of stuff. And so let's wrap up a little bit here. I know we're a little over, so let's just talk about some stuff going on. Chuck, and I'll just go left to right, my usual thing. Chuck, what's going on with you for the rest of the week? What's brewing this week for you, bud?
Oh, not much. Actually, my birthday is Monday. Is Monday the 2nd? I guess. I don't even know when my birthday actually is. So
Groundhog Day?
Yes, Groundhog Day is actually my birthday.
Nice,
So,
nice.
not doing a whole lot, actually. Just got some things around the house. We're trying to get some trim done upstairs. So just kind of have a few contractors coming in to give us some price estimates. Other than that, just work as usual for me.
Well, Chuck, since you can't have Sling TV, I went ahead and got you a birthday cake to kind of make up for your lack of Sling.
But we have like fallen apart here at the end of the. We can't go over. Apparently, that's our problem. Everything just falls apart after an hour or so. It's more like an after dark show. We've always talked about doing one. So that's what happens after an hour. It turns crazy and anything goes. Fred, back from the dead. Fred, what's going on for you this week, bud?
Oh, more living, working. We're going to be working on some music projects and hopefully some writing, blogging, picking up again, coming out of the holiday lull and so forth. And sorry, Chuck, but more Sling TV over here.
We're not rubbing it in, but hey, we're better than you because we've got Sling TV. That's all I'm saying. Mobile Cup of Joe, moving right along. What's going on? No, Fred, I didn't mean to cut you off. What else is going on?
No, that's enough for now.
Enough for now, right? Mobile Cup of Joe. Actually, I'm going to come back to you, Mobile Cup of Joe, because I want you to talk about the Grande giveaway again and close this out with that. Tony, Spec Sheet Tony, what's going on for you this week? How is the quadcopter?
Fun and fine. Been messing around with it. I can definitely say I recommend this for $60. I haven't broken anything. I lost. There's a little lampshade on. There's four LEDs, two orange and two green. Well, technically there's 4 orange and 4 green, but there's one on each. There's one on each of the arms to let you know which is the back of the quadcopter and which is the front. And one of the lampshades popped off of those, and I lost it. They pop off a lot if you have hard landings. But other than that, I haven't actually broken anything on it, and I've had some pretty hard landings, some pretty high falls. Bumped it into a lot of walls because I've been just because of the weather, and I did put it on a neighbor's roof. Kind of late at night one night. That was kind of annoying, and I haven't taken it outside since. But because of that, I've been playing it around inside, and when you get close to walls, the air movement kind of does some weird things. When you get close to the ceiling, it sucks it to the ceiling. So you have to kind of pull off the throttle. But it's been fun to learn. It's been fun to get into the hobby. It's been really fun to watch YouTube videos about it. I've been watching a YouTube channel called Flight Test. That's FLITE Test. Check it out. They have quite a lot of subscribers. They have about 255,000 subscribers, and it's run by some guys who go to my church. So I've been really enjoying their different flight test videos, and some of them are with, they have everything from the $90 quadcopter drones similar to what I have, all the way up to they built the Avengers, what they call it, the heli, it's the helicarrier. From the Avengers, that was the aircraft carrier that lifts out of the sea into the sky. They built one of those onto a giant quadcopter and flew it around and flew model airplanes off of it and landed them back on it while it was flying. So that was pretty cool. They also built the I forget what they called it, the Scorpion or whatever it was from Avatar, the helicopter with two of those blades. Anyway, really neat channel that I've been messing around and looking at, and I highly recommend it. So if you have a chance, check out Flight Test. Again, that's FLITE, not flight, common spelling. So check it out. Really, really neat. And then they go all the way up to, they do homebrew stuff all the way up to the $3,000 all-in-one ready-to-fly solutions for professional cinematographers and stuff like that. So really cool information there.
Yeah, I've always dreamed of getting a drone, quadcopter. I don't know the difference in all of them, but an auto follow style, because I don't think I could fly one. I'm not that talented. I'm a drummer, so all my limbs and everything goes different places, but getting on my fingers to do it's more piano, guitar-y. I don't do that too well, so if I could just say, here, follow me, do this, I think I'd be okay. Well, but you've inspired me, man. I want that same thing, that quadcopter you've got. I want it. It's sexy.
Yeah. Well, and these are just it's one throttle and one. I mean, it's just like playing PlayStation. If you can play PlayStation, you can fly this. It is exactly like flying a helicopter in Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, it's really not. I mean, obviously it's a little bit more responsive, but it's not like building your own and programming the remote and stuff like that. Yeah. And when the trim is once you set it, you're done. You don't need to set it again unless there's wind issues or something. So stuff like that is not like you're constantly having to check. And then the one I got is so simple. It's not FPV, which is first-person video. It has a camera attached that you can control to take pictures or video from the control, but you can't view it while you're flying. So it is a very lower end. It's actually a toy. It's not a full-fledged drone. But it is so much fun, and I highly recommend it. $60, you really can't beat it to get into the hobby and to start playing around with it. So there's some promising stuff in there.
That's cool. That's exciting. Very, very cool. All right, back to Mobile Cup of Joe. Catch us up on you, the channel, everything else, Grande giveaway, and socials and all that kind of stuff. Go. What's brewing?
Well, what is brewing for me? And I'll go ahead and start off for kind of videos and stuff that's going on with me first. I think I did talk about this on the our 3,000 subscriber kind of special show we did last week. About Ben Schoen and I working on kind of like a collab video project for a pro user's guide of Android Lollipops. So I went ahead and recorded all my voiceovers for those videos this past day when I did have the snow day. Got all that done. Going to record all my B-roll footage for that video tomorrow. So that video, or those couple of videos, are actually turning out to be really sweet. So that's going to be some good stuff with that. And then I do have the Lenovo Yoga Tablet 2 unboxing, which has been rendered. I don't know. It might have been rendered. I don't even know at this point. But this will go up at some point this week, and that's going to be a very cool video because that's a very awesome product. The Nokia Lumia 830 video is on the channel right now as well, so we are getting more content up there. January is always kind of a slower month because we have all this cool stuff announced at CES, and then there's just kind of a lull right there where, the stuff has been announced, we're just kind of waiting for it to get released. Chuck's still waiting to get Sling TV. I mean, that's just how things kind of go.
Man, I can't catch a break around here.
So, yeah. Hey, well, we picked on Joe pretty hard that one week for being out of school for snow days, so I guess your turn.
So, your turn to take it. So, yeah, so in regards to videos and stuff, we've got the unboxing for the Lenovo thing coming up soon. Alvie's very high-quality review of the very classy game, Kim Kardashian Hollywood, will be hopefully going up sometime soon as well. And just a couple of things to kind of wrap up with stuff that's going on with MobileCupOfJoe, the channel. Just another quick reminder for the Grande giveaway that is now extended to Thursday, February 12th. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe here to the Mobile Cup of Joe YouTube channel if you have not done so already. And then go ahead and grab, your smartphone, your webcam, whatever you got lying around. If you have an iPhone, please don't shoot it vertically. Please go ahead and turn that thing horizontally so we don't have that vertical video there. Because if you do that, I will have the intention to disqualify you immediately because it's 2015. I think we can get past that at this day and age. But just go ahead, grab whatever you have laying around, record yourself saying the Mobile Cup of Joe intro phrase. So I'll go ahead and do examples. So if I'm entering, I would just say something like, "Hey, I'm Joe Martin from Lawrence, Michigan." So go ahead and grab that coffee cup, fill it up, bring it over, sit on down, and I'll let you go ahead and say
Take a swing.
From your Mobile Cup of Joe. So, it doesn't have to be exactly like that. Just get the general idea. Again, links in the description below for all the official contest rules and details. So once you are subscribed and record your video, go ahead and upload it to YouTube, and then share that video on any of the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, etc., using the hashtag MCOJBrew. It's very important that you do use that hashtag so we can actually find your video when it is uploaded. And speaking of Facebook, we've technically had a Facebook page for a couple years now, but it's just kind of been sitting there. Nothing has really been going on it. But with 2015 being a new year with Mobile Cup of Joe, we're really trying to be more active on all the socials. I know all of us, I think, have been posting on Twitter more frequently. At least I know I've been posting on Twitter more frequently than I usually have been. I've been seeing Alvie and Chuck on my Twitter feed or timeline, whatever it's called on Twitter, a lot more frequently as well. We are posting on the Google Plus page fairly actively also, and I went ahead and kind of resurrected the Facebook page for Mobile Cup of Joe. So just go ahead, go to Facebook, type in Mobile Cup of Joe. I don't know what the exact URL is for it. I think it's just facebook.com /Mobile Cup of Joe. We're actually going to do a live test of that right now to see if I'm BSing you or if that's a legit thing. Okay, so yeah, go to facebook.com /Mobile Cup of Joe, and that's going to take you to the official Mobile Cup of Joe Facebook page. This is not going to be a rehash of our Google Plus feed or our Twitter posts. This is going to be kind of the general same stuff, but it's not going to be word for word. We're going to have kind of original content on there, because Facebook is a very, very popular social network, albeit not my favorite one. But I know a lot of you guys out there do use it. So, we have the official page on Google Plus now. We have the official page on Facebook, and all of us have personal accounts on Twitter. So if you are on Facebook, go ahead and like Mobile Cup of Joe, facebook.com /Mobile Cup of Joe, because we are going to be, like I said, posting on there much more frequently because we are really trying to push our presence on all the social media sites, because apparently that's something that people like to do. I guess Twitter, Facebook, I guess those things are popular. Snapchat too, I hear. So we are all over those things. Go ahead and Alvie and I are on Snapchat too. Chuck, one day, Chuck, we'll get Chuck on there at some point in time.
Nope.
But yeah. Sling TV saying the same thing about you. Chuck Haines, sign up for our service? Nope.
The only thing I can say is I don't have Snapchat, Sling. I've got a high IQ.
Whoa. Whoa. And on that, I think we shall end it. But anyway, yes, thanks, Mobile Cup of Joe, for sharing all of that stuff. And
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you guys for watching the show, if you guys are watching this live or if you're watching it later in the week. And if you're catching it on the podcast, thanks for checking us out there, too. If you have any other questions or comments, concerns or rebuttals, anything that we've talked about tonight, go ahead and hit us on the socials, hashtag MCOJBrew. We're on pretty much every social that accepts hashtags, so go ahead and hit it. We'll find it. Of course, you can leave a comment here on this video or anywhere on our event page, too. But on behalf of Chuck Haines, Ones and Zeros, Back from the Dead, Fred, Mobile Cup of Joe, me, your bearded barista, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week at 9 p.m. Eastern. Good night.
Have a great night.